All right. Hello, and welcome to the podcast. Today I have Adam with me. If you want to introduce yourself.
Howdy doody. I'm Adam.
Okay. So, like I normally do with podcasts, as you probably already know, I usually ask my guests on how they came into creepy topics and stuff like that. Again, just kind of as like a thing where making sure that people know that I'm not dragging these people onto the podcast against their will.
Mm-hmm.
So, take it away. How did you get into creepy stuff?
Well, like most teenagers, I was once an edgy fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I guess when I was a kid, I played Batman Arkham Asylum. I guess that's where it really started for me because I played that pretty young. And I fucking love that game. Like, going back to the game later on, some of the mechanics have been really improved on by the sequels, but nothing captures the atmosphere of that original game, especially when you're playing it so young. It's just, mwah, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And just the whole idea of, like, being in Arkham Asylum and this madman, the Joker, is, like, broken loose and taken over, and anarchy reigns, and dissent and disorder is running wild, and you're running into crazy people in straitjackets, and it's so cool, honestly, especially if you're like in that perfect age for being an edgy teenager.
Which is always the best.
Oh yeah, I kind of went wild with the whole insane genius thing. I don't know why that's a thing, but I feel like that's a thing that teenagers think is real.
Why is that?
I don't know. I guess a combination of me being edgy and me being narcissistic, thinking that I was smarter than people and wanting to be like that allure that I saw in the Joker in that game. And I remember drawing really edgy drawings that I would think have meaning.
Shit, edgy, edgelord.
like there's this one. I actually have a book of drawings from when I was a teenager, and there's this one where it was kind of inspired by like Tool videos. And where a really long, sinewy, dark figure is holding a harlequin mask with like a long nose, kind of like a
doctor's mask, plague doctor mask.
Not a plague doctor. Like, what are those? Like a French festival where they have those weird masks.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, Mardi Gras? No, that's totally fucking different.
I was thinking Mardi Gras too, but I'm like, is it Mardi Gras though?
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is Mardi Gras like Fat Tuesday or something? It's some religious thing?
I don't know.
It's either...
All I know is like purple and green shit, and you wear masks.
I'm gonna sound racist, but it's either Latin or like Latin American or French, and I have no idea which.
I think it is French, because I remember in like French class.
You're right, it might be French, yeah.
I don't know. I'm uncultured.
Me too. But anyway, it was this long, sinewy Tool character with like a Mardi Gras mask, and he's like crying over the mask, and you can see the tears, and he's like trying to like rip it off his face, but it's strapped to his head, and that's probably like the edgiest thing I've ever drawn in my life.
Oh shit, I had those too. I had one where it was a girl in a bathtub, and you can just see her leg dangling over the bathtub and her arm, and it's just like blood like all over the fucking floor.
Even hotter.
I know, right? The edge is real.
There was one point where I don't know why, I still kind of have pseudo insomnia. It's not diagnosed, but it's just trouble sleeping. But in high school, I really lost my mind for a while there, just not sleeping. Like, even in my placement at the Heart and Stroke Foundation, my coworkers would be like, Adam, you need to sleep. We can't put you on the phones because you're insane.
Yeah.
Stop it. And there was this point where I don't know why, I was very tired and very crazy, but I thought it would be really edgy to write in, you know those edgy letters where you just scribble back and forth really fast with dark marker?
Yeah.
The lyrics to Sunshine, Lollipops, and Rainbows. And at the end I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I start turning the page so like the words kind of circle in on themselves, but in reality you look at it, it's just a jumbled mess.
The edge.
My friends still made fun of me for that, but I love it.
Also, another question I usually ask.
Mm.
Is there a like horror movie or like any other than obviously Batman
Mm.
that you were like, oh shit, that's cool. Really want to get into this kind of thing, like either like a documentary or
Mm.
like maybe like a horror movie or a haunted house or something on those lines.
I never
What's the first memory other than
of like
Batman?
I never really watched a lot of horror movies when I was a kid. I was what you would call a bitch. See, I would pussy out and I could not watch. I would have frequent nightmares. I had night terrors when I was very young, so watching scary movies was like a no go until fairly recently.
Mm-hmm.
But I tried to break out of this by watching scary things, and this was more like recent, like first year college, second year college. Especially first year college, I decided I'm gonna watch The Shining in my room alone in the dark.
I haven't actually seen The Shining.
It's so good. It's so good. There were moments where I had to pause the movie and just like turn on the light and just sit there for a second and go.
Just prepare yourself for the next
just be
scene.
like, it's okay, Adam. It's not
movie.
real.
It's a movie.
You're in your house. You're safe.
In some sort of way.
Yeah, Jack isn't gonna hurt you.
Well, people can literally go into your house whenever they want, pretty much.
Oh, they could, especially because I don't leave my room open, and neither I nor my roommates leave our front door open, and it's really piss easy to get into the building. So, yeah, it's really easy to just sneak in and kill me.
If people can figure out on how to get into a house with a security system,
mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure if you don't have a security system, it'll be just 10 times easier.
I just feel safe because, like, safety in numbers. Like, in the apartment building, I'm on the 4th floor. You're not going to fucking walk to the 4th floor. What are you, crazy? You're going to kill someone on the 1st floor.
You never know.
I mean, either you walk up all those flights of stairs or you kill someone on the 1st floor because you're not using the elevator. The elevator in my building is terrifying. It's like 3 by 3 feet. It creaks. It makes horrible noises. It takes literally 5 minutes to go up 3 floors. It's just the worst. No one uses it. Don't use it. If you do, you're gonna die. So I feel pretty safe just by safety in numbers in my building.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I know, like, I listen to a lot of like creepy stories and stuff like that.
Mm.
And a lot of the time, you would think that they would hit the bottom floors, but they actually, if like someone like, you could have a stalker and not even know it.
That's true.
Like how terrifying is that? Like you can literally have a stalker and not even know it.
That's not terrifying to me. That is flattering.
And there were other stories that I've like listened to where just like people will just wander into your house and just chill in your house. Like there was one story I remember when something on the lines of like I don't obviously know it word by word, but it was a lady came home from work to her house and she doesn't notice anything wrong. She just goes to bed, does her normal thing.
Mm.
And she hears scratching under her bed. And she gets up and like tries to like figure out what's wrong or something on those lines. And there's a lady, like a homeless lady, just laying under her bed. Just chilling.
Jesus Christ.
You know.
That's
with a knife. There's some stories that like where like they'll have like knives or something, or like in like most of the cases they usually have like a mental illness and they're like homeless and stuff like that.
So is it like a random thing? They just go into anybody's house, or is it like a targeted thing, like stalkers?
Yeah, they just go into random people's houses.
Ah.
Because, well, again, these are like probably made up stories, obviously.
Oh yeah, of course.
But the majority of homeless people are people with mental illness.
Mm.
Obviously, not everyone. I'm not saying like, oh, every homeless person has mental illness, but majority of them do.
You gotta get your PC points
in. Because like for example, like my I don't know where he's right now, but he's usually either homeless or living with a family member. He has schizophrenia,
Mm.
and he would live in a tent in the middle of the woods in like it's winter.
That sounds uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah. And like I've worked with I did some volunteer design work for like a non-profit organization, and they help with like homeless people and stuff like that. Like he does some work with them, and we talked about it, and he said like more people that he has talked to and has like seen that are homeless have a mental disability or like in that sense, which is really interesting.
But like the idea that someone would just go into your house and hang there. What if I told you that actually happened to me? And I'm not bullshitting you.
Are you actually?
No, I'm fucking serious.
What?
Yeah, in my apartment.
No.
It's not as terrifying as that though.
What?
No, I'm serious. Yeah. So I wake up one morning at like 6 a.m. To trap music, faints in my room, and I'm like.
Well, that's terrifying.
Yeah, so
in your room.
In my room. So I wake up, and this was when I moved out. This isn't like in my house. This is in my apartment. Yeah.
Like when you're in like college.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying.
So I wake up. I'm like, it's too early to be awake. What's that noise? Whatever. Go back to sleep. Wait, that's music. That's a genre of music I don't listen to. That's not my phone. What the fuck is going on? And it's still dawn, so like I can barely see things. I'm looking up. I'm looking around, and you know when you see like your coat in the corner of your room?
No.
You know when you see like your coat and you think it's like a person, and it's just silhouetted.
But it's an actual. Was it an actual person?
Well, it was kind of the opposite. I'm like, I look and I see a dark figure on my couch, and I'm like, oh, I just probably left my coat on the couch. And I close my eyes again, and the music's a bit louder, and I open them again. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I sit up and I get off my bed, and I realize, oh. That's not a shadow from a coat. That's a very dark-skinned man sitting completely passed out on my couch, upright, not like lying on my couch, just sitting there, like straight up, sleeping on my couch. And I'm like,
what?
What the hell? What do I do? Do I wake him? What do I do? Ended up just
wait. You have to pause for a second.
Yeah.
What's the layout of your room? Is it literally like bed, couch?
It's a long, thin room. It goes bed on the, if you imagine closest to the window as being is the bed, then my table, then my couch, and opposite to the couch is the TV.
Okay, so you literally like live in your room? Right.
Yeah. I even have like
is there like a common area in there?
There's a common area outside my room.
Okay.
That's not where he was.
What?
He was on the couch in my room. The door was closed when I went to bed. I wake up and I see this guy and he's just sleeping there. I'm like, what do I do? I'm like not hitting his leg. I'm like, hey dude.
Okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like any of your friends.
I had never seen this man before in my entire life.
That is fucking horrifying.
I just like,
I would literally cry and like vomit and pee myself and like every thing that scare like you do when you're scared. Yeah. Holy fucking shit, that's terrifying.
I was just so confused. I just remember getting up, realizing there's a guy sleeping upright on my couch, and I was just like hitting his leg like, hey dude, what do you... Okay. And I was just like, I don't want to wake him. He's sleeping.
So you just left him?
I wanted to be courteous. I got up and I left and I made breakfast.
What was the aftermath? Did you just leave and then he was gone? Like when he came home? Or like did he like, yo, sorry, I didn't mean to fucking... Like what was the backstory?
The aftermath was I opened the door, walked out, made breakfast, waited for my roommates to wake up. My roommate immediately beside that room, it comes out and he's like, he whispers to me, who's that? I'm like, I don't fucking know. And he's like, okay then. And then I finally wake the guy up, like 3 hours later, not going back in my room, and I go, hey dude, there's a scheduled fire alarm happening in 15 minutes, you should leave. And he just like, oh yeah, no worries, no problem. And he gets up and he leaves. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, no explanation to why you passed out in a stranger's room? What the fuck? And it turned out he was some guy that my other roommate my other roommate had a few people over to drink the night before, and he decided.
So he just opened up your room.
He just opened up my room.
This guy's fucking sleeping. I'm just gonna sleep here.
I'm just gonna go into this my friend's roommate's room and pass out on his couch. And then once he wakes me up, not apologize or give an explanation, just say, "Oh yeah, no worries, no problem, I got you," and then get up and leave.
What? That is insane. What?
It was.
Oh my
it was
God,
weird.
What? I also, that's probably like coming from like a female, like a guy. I don't know if it's like obviously like you're a guy and he's a guy, but like if I just woke up and a man that I don't fucking know is in my room just sleeping.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
That is fucking terrible. Like I would be like, if a girl I was like, bitch, get the fuck out of my room. Like what?
I don't know why. I was weirdly courteous about it, and I was like, "Hey, dude, wake up! Come on, you're in my room. I don't know you." But at the same time, I was like, "Well,
what if he like
he's sleeping? I don't want to wake him up."
Okay, like my mind like just thinks of worst case scenario in that situation. And if I was in that situation, like, what if he was just like standing and watching you fucking sleep?
That would be a different story.
Yeah.
That would be. I would like throw my alarm clock at his head. I would not courteously say, "Wake up and get out of my room." I would fucking kick him in the balls.
Even if like I saw like again like just roles reversed, like if a girl was in my room for no reason, I would still be like, "Bitch, get the fuck out of my room! Why the fuck are you in my room? You're not allowed in my fucking room! Like what? What the actual fuck?" And like, I would do all that. I would like fucking throw shit at her, but like, "Get the fuck out of my room! I do not know you. Get out now!" That's so terrifying. Like, 'cause you don't know that person. That person could literally just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking kill this person." I could have a mental illness or something like that, and I could fucking kill someone. Like,
I didn't expect anything bad. Like, I wasn't worried of him hurting me. I was just so taken aback by the just fucking bizarreness of the situation that I was like, "Oh, what do I do? Okay, I'm just gonna go out and make breakfast."
You should have done is either while you're making. Wait, what time was this?
I woke up at like early in the morning, like 7, I want to say, and then my roommates came up and greeted me at like 10, and that was when I woke him up and kicked him out.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I was gonna say like maybe like if I were in that situation, I was just like in your shoes, be like, okay, guy, like trying to like wake him up. I would blast my music, but then you would probably get a noise complaint if it was 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever in the morning, or I would have purposely like set my alarm extremely loud and then like put it right beside his ear.
Well, the music, his trap music that woke me up, it was his alarm. So he had already had music that was meant to wake him up, I guess, before I woke up so that he could leave. But the dude was passed out drunk. That's why when I was hitting his leg saying, "Hey, dude, come on, leave my room," I wasn't going to like slap him in the face or anything.
I would have. I'd be like, bitch.
I mean, this guy's physically larger than me. He's passed out drunk. I don't know him. I don't know if I slap him in the face, he's gonna like break
stab
me.
Ya.
Even worse, the TV's right behind me. If he tries to fight me, my precious baby's gonna break. I don't want that.
Just like crouch. Just like make sure you're nowhere near your TV, and then be like, bitch.
It's kind of impossible. Like my couch is literally, and this is terrible for my eyes. It's literally like 3 feet away from the TV, and it's like a 64-inch TV. I just like to have. It's like the home theater system,
but for like cheaper.
Yeah. I don't know about cheaper. I spent a $1,500 government grant on it. Ooh, shit! I should not say that on record.
Do you want me to take that out?
I don't know. We'll play it later. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Since we kind of like warmed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's get into what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about serial killers. Well, our personal favorite serial killers.
Yeah.
I have 5 that I personally enjoy. How many do you have?
I have 4 that I wanted to mention. I don't need to mention all of them. Really, just like 2 that I really want to get off my chest. But then like the other ones, I just kind of throw an anecdote.
Well, we could talk about all of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So do you want to go first? You want to talk?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. So, Mine are kind of like the typical. I was talking to you about this before before we started. Mine are, I have like a lot that are like the typical, like, oh, these people are like based off of like characters in movies, or like these people have like plenty of documentaries based on them, but they're just my own personal
Right.
favorite. Okay, so the first one, again, everyone probably knows this one. It's the Zodiac Killer. So I have a couple notes. I don't know like everything about him, and I don't know it off by heart. Like John Wayne Gacy, which I'm hopefully going to be talking about. I know a lot about him, so I have like his notes. So I'm just going to turn around so I'm like in view of the mic. Okay, so some notes that I have about the Zodiac Killer. So he had taunting letters to the Bay Area press. After he killed people. So he would obviously kill people and then send letters. I think there were also, if memory serves me correctly, I think there were like cryptid letters.
Yeah. It took people years to try to crack his code, and I think some of his letters are still encrypted, uncrackable to this day.
Yeah, like he's one of the famous cases where he's never been caught. He's like kind of like Jack the Ripper in that kind of sense, where he's still to this day, no one knows who he is.
Yeah.
There were some, again, from like just listening to like videos and like doing some like own personal research about him. I'm pretty sure a couple people have tried to come out as the Zodiac Killer, but it's not like a reliable source. Like people like on their deathbed being like, yeah, I was the Zodiac Killer or something like that.
Of course, if you've never done anything with your life, you want to be known as somebody.
Yeah.
What was that politician that meme has been circulating around that he's the Zodiac Killer?
Oh, really?
Yeah. What's his name?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was Clinton's running mate. Hold on, keep going. I'll look up his name.
So he operated in California in late 1960s, early 1970s. He claimed to kill, the police believe he killed 37 victims, which were confirmed by newspapers. There were 7 victims, like some of his victims were confirmed like 100%, and then they're kind of speculating 37. They're just kind of guessing from like, what's the word? Just like, similar killing styles and stuff like that.
Right.
Kind of from like other
Same
cases.
MO.
Yeah. The case, like I said before, the case is still open. Like we don't know who the Zodiac Killer is. And then there are numerous books and movies based off of him, or just about his life and like how the investigation. Like I read one book in like high school about him, which was really interesting. I just borrowed it from the library. His first victims were David Faraday, he was 17 years old, and Betty Lau Jensen, which were shot to death, in car remote spot on Lake Herman Road, outskirts of I don't know how to pronounce that.
Vallejo.
California. It was in California. So yeah, they were just like. They were found dead in their car with gunshot wounds, I think, in their head, if memory serves correctly. At least that's what I've researched about. And that was, like, his first ever, like, 2 victims.
How do we know that it was his first? Did he, like, say so in one of his letters?
I believe so. Again, I haven't researched him in quite a bit, so my memory is very fuzzy about quite a bit of stuff. I could obviously do a little bit more research, like later on, and tell you. But yeah, I think he said something about it in a letter, or he also liked to boast a lot about his killings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And was very proud of his killings in the letters and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Typical of serial killers.
Oh yeah.
We all knew that Ted Cruz was crazy. That was the main.
Oh really?
What was his motive? Like, I think the most interesting part about serial killers are their reasoning. What was his?
I think it was just for media attention, I think. I could be wrong because again, a lot of his letters went to the newspapers and stuff like that, on the media. So I think that again, and also like boasting about his killings and stuff like that too, which a lot of serial killers sometimes do. Obviously, like when they either in the Zodiac killer's case, like in letters, or in other serial killer cases, like when they're on trial and stuff like that, they like to like, oh yeah, I killed this many people, and stuff like that.
They have like some pathological need for attention.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of cases with serial killers is they either have like a neglected childhood. So I guess in that kind of sense, they are like needing for attention because they didn't get it when they were younger, maybe. Obviously, there's also like multiple other reasons why serial killers do what they do, but like maybe that's one of the reasons, possibly for some, for the fame.
Yeah, it's fascinating to know like the what drives them, because they're all different. I mean, you can see trends overall, but they're all different. Like for example, the Unabomber, who's pretty similar to the Zodiac killer, and wrote. Did he write encrypted letters? I don't remember. I don't think he did actually. Now that I think about it. But he
did it for fame, kind of thing.
So his thing, and he's remarkable because he's a startling intellect. From what I've read recently, he was around 167 IQ.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like 100 is baseline. 130 is considered incredibly smart. This guy's genius. He skipped 2 grades when he was a kid and got into Harvard when he was 16.
Wow.
Yeah, he's insanely smart. But he wasn't socially developed. Skipping grades kind of ostracized him as a kid.
He didn't have the normal childhood that
right. He didn't have he could never develop socially to match his intellect and work functionally. And another thing that was startling, I watched a Netflix original on him, but it was highly dramatized, so I don't dubious efficacy. But he, it showed during his time in Harvard, and he underwent a psychological experiment over the course of 3 years by Professor Henry Murray to, I suppose, demonstrate how the human psyche copes with immense amounts of stress. And keep in mind, he's 16. He's not even at the same level of emotional development as college students, and college students are not emotionally developed. That's why you go to college, so you can fuck up and become emotionally developed. And so some of the things that he would do, so he spent time with Ted Kaczynski, and nurtured his intellect and became his friend, and was one of the few people who saw him as a peer. And especially when you're young, when you're 16, even if you are smart, especially if you're smart, you think that you're smarter than everyone else and that your views are tantamount.
Yeah.
And so he would nurture these views. And during the experiments, he would destroy him. And especially because this professor was a man that Ted respected so much for respecting him and for treating him with decency. The fact that he, for a psychological experiment, intentionally, I don't want to say maliciously, but in the pursuit of science, intentionally destroyed him psychologically. It really damaged him in the long term. Like I remember one of the things for the psychological experiment was for Ted to write a paper on his core fundamental thoughts and beliefs, and then to read that paper to a classmate who would first try to get Ted's affection. And the classmate, Ted was led to believe was just another classmate, but in reality it's an actor, paid to destroy, to just tear down everything he believed and everything he wrote about. Which, if you've ever been 16 and had someone tell you that your beliefs are trash, it's not good.
Yeah, really not good.
And he underwent this for 3 years, and I don't think this is the only indicator of what caused him to become the Unabomber, but it definitely, I think, played a big role in it.
Yeah. Because it's not always just one thing.
Of course,
one particular thing. It's always like multiple little things. Like just things that just like set them off, or even sometimes it's even just like their brain isn't wired. The same as, Like not say, like it's weird to say normal people, but you know what I mean, right?
Funny thing about Ted Kaczynski though is that he suffered no mental illnesses. He was remarkably intelligent, but it was almost like a byproduct of his intelligence that caused him to do these things. His motive. So he wrote the Unabomber Manifesto. I believe the full title is The Unabomber Manifesto, Industrial Society and Its Future. He was highly critical of the advancement of technology in the world, and he believed that that was destroying the moral fabric of society, and that we need to move back to our roots in the wilderness. So that's why he, later in life, did that. He built his famous, I think it was a 5x5 cabin in the woods alone, to live there for, I think, I could be completely wrong about this, I'm going off of memory, but I think somewhere around like a decade at least. And he started doing his Unabombings as a way, and he wasn't secretive about it. He wrote letters. Well, obviously he didn't say that, hey, I'm Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah.
But he said, hey, I am a terrorist organization, and I'm going to do some terrorisms if you guys don't print my manifesto in a major publication. And that was basically his whole motive. He just wanted his thesis to be printed in a major publication, which is fascinating if you think about his experiences in college. And I'm just realizing this for the first time now, drawing some correlation, that he was denied respect and he was denied attention for his ideas back then. And so he's trying to regain that, I think, later in life, by forcing society to acknowledge his thoughts and beliefs. And if they don't, he's going to inflict devastating harm on all of them.
That's interesting.
All of it.
Yeah.
I brought him up because Zodiac Killer, for whatever reason, I thought that Kaczynski also had encrypted letters, but I instantly realized that he didn't.
Well, he had like letters like warning people and like kind of be like, hey.
Oh yeah.
And in that sense, it's similar,
which
is it's still really interesting.
Yeah, and so his motive was to just be acknowledged, and it makes me think that maybe the Zodiac Killer had something to prove, kind of like the Riddler in Batman, actually.
Yeah.
Like you know, encrypting his letters so that no one could ever read them.
And it was kind of only for him, in a sense.
Deliberately giving clues in the letters for anyone intelligent enough to decrypt them to who his identity is, but no one ever could find it.
Yeah.
Some kind of like power trip, I think. I'm no expert. I'm some idiot college student, but...
Well, and again, let's also like, gonna go back to the whole, like, my meaning of my podcast is, we're not saying that we're like experts on these people. We're just expressing how much we are interested in these people. Like, it's
so fascinating, honestly.
And again, like we're not saying like, oh yeah, this is fact. We always like back up saying like, hey, yeah, this might be it kind of thing. I kind of want this podcast to be like to encourage people to look more in depth into these and kind of maybe hopefully open up a new interest for some people.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So
to speak about it more conversationally, I guess.
Yeah. So it's not like my podcast is like, oh yeah, this is fact. It's not like an informational
it's just
like
the thoughts and opinions of two fools.
Yeah, and it's just like conversation, a natural conversation. Like we're not, again, like I've said like 3 times now, we're not saying we're experts on these people, right? So
it's just like my I'm overly humble sometimes. I'm like I'm too stop. Don't take everything I say too seriously. I'm not someone who you should take seriously. I'm a clown.
All right. So did you want to? I know we talked about the Unabomber, but do you want to talk about
I'm
anyone else?
curious about Gacy. Was that
John
his name?
Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, because you've mentioned him before, and I haven't. I have no idea what he's about. I have no idea.
So, John. To start off, he worked as a party entertainer, as a clown.
Ooh.
So his alias name was Pogo the Clown.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, I really like, and people say that the inspiration from it was from John Wayne Gacy because he was a serial killer that dressed up as a clown.
Makes sense.
Or I think it's either I don't remember what year it was made. That's the thing. So I don't know if it got the inspiration from John Wayne Gacy or John Wayne Gacy got the inspiration from
I don't
it
know.
kind of thing.
Stephen King writes like 1,000 books a day.
Yeah.
He probably, got the inspiration from somewhere.
Yeah, but a lot of people say like he's like it in real life, and like how like killer clowns kind of started becoming a thing, which is really interesting. I like that. So he killed 33 teenage boys and young men. And the reason why they know 33 is because they found 33 bodies under his house, all buried underneath his house.
So it could be more, because I don't imagine if he's just starting out as a serial killer, he's going to be confident enough to bury it in his basement. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
There could be more. There could be more. So yeah, they were all buried under his house. It was Cook County, Illinois. He was convicted of sexual assault in 1968 for murders uncovered. So he was convicted of sexual assault, and then kind of a little bit led to the whole murder, kind of like linking kind of thing. And,
so they found out about the murders from the investigating sexual assault?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. And then he was found.
It's even more horrifying.
Yeah.
If no one came out about it, though, no one would know. How many other John Wayne Gacy's are out there?
Mm-hmm. And the thing that just is really creepy to me is that, like I said, he was a child entertainer, right?
That really irks me.
Yeah. And he was a clown, right? And you have to think that he was around young boys and young girls.
The fact that he was a children's entertainer really irks me, but it's weird that how clowns are so ubiquitous now that the fact that he was a clown doesn't even bother me at all. It barely registers. It's just like a funny meme.
But at the time, it was like horrifying.
Yeah.
Because killer clown.
Yeah.
So he was guilty in 1980. So like I said, he was convicted of sexual assault in 1968. So it took them that long to convict him of guilty of the murders. Yeah.
It's just even more of the fact that it took them that long to find him. I mean, I can't imagine that hunting down an unknown is easy, but also it makes me skeptical of what's out there currently.
Mm-hmm. And you never know.
Yeah.
Like, he was loved by his neighborhood. He was a child entertainer.
Yeah.
No one knew.
The worst are the ones that seem completely innocuous.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's plenty of cases. I know one case where it was a guy, he kidnapped a girl and kept her in his basement for 20 years.
Jesus.
He had he had 8 kids with him.
Stories like that are just too common.
His what people described him as was friendly and nice and just a nice neighbor that would help out around here and there, and then to find out that he was harboring a girl in his basement for X amount of years and raping her and having kids with her and doing all this stuff, right? It's and like you never know.
Right. I heard a similar story actually. That's almost identical to that one, but somehow 1 degree worse. So a man had a daughter with his wife, and shortly after the daughter was born, told the wife that the daughter passed, but in reality chained her to his shed. And she might have been 5. She might have been.
Oh, I think I heard that one.
Yeah, and so he would, and she was, for like her entire life, raped by her father and had multiple kids with him.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say with, by, from, I don't know.
Yeah.
And even he would have his neighbor over for cards often, and the neighbor mentioned that you would never think of it from this guy. He was such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like the only thing was that the neighbor noted that he bought some lingerie that clearly didn't fit his wife, and then the neighbor was like, "Hey, what's that about?" And he's like, "Oh, shh, don't tell my wife. It's for my girlfriend." But
It was for his daughter.
the fact
That's
that it's his daughter, it hurt. It's like
like,
a weird emotional pain for me.
But like, the thing that kind of is like questionable is when you said that he was just like, "Oh yeah, she died."
Yeah, I don't remember the context. I don't think that is correct. I haven't heard this in a very long time.
Yeah.
It might be just a creepypasta, but I do vaguely remember hearing it from some reputable source.
Yeah,
I
remember, or so at least I've heard something similar to that, and they like found all the kids in the shed and like where she is in the shed, and I think I've like seen like the news footage for it, like in like scary true stories or something.
Yeah.
And they'll like and they showed like crime scene or not crime scene photos, no one really died, but like where the shed was and all that stuff and like her living conditions.
I don't think he said that she died when she was a kid. I think he said she was kidnapped or something.
Oh, like she just like ran away or something?
Yeah, she either ran away or was kidnapped because that's easier to fake. You don't need like a body or a death certificate.
Yeah.
It's so...
Yeah, it's still really fucking
Yeah, the idea of doing that kind of shit to children, like...
And your own daughter, too.
That makes it worse, but even just any child, like John Wayne Gacy, as interesting as it is to think about, like, serial killer clown, when you mentioned that his primary targets were children,
and boys. He never did anything from girls to girls. He only did teenage boys and young men.
I don't like that. Yeah. I mean, obviously we're talking about serial killers here, but I especially don't like that.
Yeah. And also he was in 1994 he was executed with lethal injection, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. He, like I said, he dressed up as Bullet the Clown. He lured victims, promises of construction work, and then captured, sexually assaulted, strangled most of them with rope. Mm-hmm. And another really cool thing was he liked to paint when he was in prison. And his artwork was shown at the Chicago Gallery, and someone bought it.
That's...
Yeah. And it's...
Who made money off of that?
I don't know. It was probably just like an auction place.
Sure, but did the money go to the prison? Did it go to his family?
I don't know. He lit someone who bought it, and it was like... I would absolutely love a frickin'... And it was... The painting was just like Poe the Clown.
Yeah. An original Charles Manson. I love it.
Yeah, and it was October 17th, 2017, was auctioned off his work and crime scene photos.
So also his... Oh, I guess people just...
I would definitely
you would?
have crime scene photos in my house and a painting from a serial killer.
Okay.
How freaking cool is that? Like, that's such an amazing conversation starter. Be like, oh wow, look at that painting and clown. That's really cool. I'd be like, yeah, it's a serial killer's.
Okay.
John Wayne Gacy painted it.
The painting, sure. The crime scene photos?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. There is, okay, There's a museum, and
Yeah.
I think Los Angeles or something along those lines. It's in the United States, and it is, I think, the Death Museum.
Hmm.
So it has crime scene photos. You're not allowed to record in it because it's literally you're seeing actual like crime scene photos,
Yeah.
and you can see like I think there is like a head or something and, like babies and like a lot
Baby's
of
head?
no like there's a decapitated head, I think, of like a someone's.
That's cool, but you also have to think, like, who signed away their rights to have their head in a museum?
There is you can actually sign your body away to science so they can dissect your body.
That's true. That's true. I forgot about that.
But yeah, and then they'll have fetuses of babies and stuff like that.
Fun.
And
like real human children?
Yeah. Real.
That's dubious, but
Yeah.
okay.
And like you have, I think it's like an hour in it. If you last the hour in the museum, I think you get your money back or something like on those lines or something.
Oh, hell yeah, do that.
Or something. I don't know. It's like you get if you I don't remember what the like little thing is, but I think it's you have to like last in the museum for a certain amount of time and you get like something. You're like a free next pass or I don't know.
If it's like longer than 3 hours, then fuck that. It don't matter what museum that is. I'm not staying there for longer than 3 hours.
I would definitely. If there's crime scene photos,
Yeah.
and I get to see dead bodies and shit, I'm staying there for like ever.
I don't think I would be like turned away from the gruesomeness of it. I would just get bored.
I find it so fascinating. Like I could literally just like Matt and I found a website a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this in our podcast, like I think the first episode or something. I forget, but it was really interesting because it was we were watching a video about like the top 10 like creepiest websites and stuff like that. And there was this one website where at the beginning it's like a continuously scrolling website, and you have to like say, "Oh, I'm older than 18" before you can go into the website.
Sure.
Yeah. And at the beginning, it's all like kittens and shit. And
Okay.
then as you're scrolling, it gets worse, and it gets worse. I've seen a face. You know what degloving is?
No.
So degloving is where your skin gets peeled off of your head, of your skull.
Ah.
It's not degloving. I've seen. Oh, and there are also hands that were degloved. So literally, like your hand is like your skin's gone.
You should show me after the podcast is done, but I feel like I'd only last like a few minutes in that.
I don't even like the thing is I don't even remember what the website is called.
Google to the rescue.
I know.
Yeah.
Like Matt and I've looked for hours on end on trying to find this website because I wanted to show like my friends and stuff like that and see how long it would take.
Mhm.
There's also like there were like old men having sex and like porn and shit, and then there would the funny thing is, so we were scrolling like there was all these like there was like people being decapitated. There was a girl that was sliced in half, and all this like death and carnage. And the one thing that fucking scared the shit out of me, and I looked away, was a fucking close up of a spider.
Really?
Yeah, I am terrified of spiders.
Yeah.
Like. I could literally, like I said, I could literally see a hand degloved. Oh, there's also another picture where there was like layers, like the person's hand had like cut layers so deep that you could see the bone and it was like literally like someone took like a slicer and just went on someone's hand. I can look at that and be like, okay, that's fine. But as soon as a fucking close-up spider shows up, I'm like, no, no, like death decay and destruction, I'm fine. There was a GIF of a body decomposing.
Yeah.
Totally fine. Not grossed out. Nothing.
I feel like it's different for everyone. Like a gif of a body decomposing, I'm fine. Spiders, I'm fine. Degloved hand, I don't know about that. But also, I mean, okay. I'm just gonna say it anyway.
Go ahead.
So one time, you know when you're browsing Pornhub and you just
Okay. I'm gonna say this on record. I have never watched a porn in my entire life. Never have I ever watched a porn.
Your medal's in the mail.
I have never watched porn. I've watched like hentai, but never. Like actual like human beings having sex, never.
This was not that. This was okay. What I mean to say is sometimes when you're watching porn, you finish and you just for whatever reason keep watching, and you're not. You're no longer watching to get off. You're just watching for the weird, gross fascination of it, and you just keep going to the next video, and it gets more and more depraved to the point where I watched a video of a man masturbating with his bisected penis. That means his dick was cut down the middle lengthwise. Yeah. And it all scarred up.
What?
It was like 2 dicks.
Oh my god, no! What?
It was weird. When he finally came, it was like it obviously just gooed out of the...
No! Stop!
You can watch a degloved hand, but
Yeah!
you can't...
I don't even have a dick and that fucking hurts.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't get over that for like weeks, but after I finally got over it, it became the funniest fucking thing.
Well, I've seen, what's that? It's like Pain Olympics or something.
Ooh.
Where it's literally just like a bunch of people just like stabbing stuff into their bodies.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I saw. I think it was some daytime television reality TV bullshit of people with like piercings, but then to the extreme. This guy would have piercings of hooks on his backs, and he would hang himself from the ceiling by his piercings.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting like cringes just thinking about it now.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Let's talk about your. Because I talked about John Wayne Gacy. You talked
Right. Nice segue though from looking at insane shit. Before I got here, I was like obviously looking at some killers, and I happened to come across. Well, I mean, I already knew about Ed Gein.
Mm-hmm.
Learned about him in high school. He's hilarious. I mean, he's funny because I remember a meme that me and my friends started in high school. After he was caught, there was a bystander or some witness who claimed to have seen him running naked through a field in the moonlight with a skin corset with breasts still attached. And the description was that the breasts were flopping as he ran, and I thought that was the funniest shit, even though it's so morbid. The fact that the person who witnessed this had to describe them as flopping as he danced in the moonlight.
Same. I too enjoy wearing people's skin and dancing in the moonlight.
That might not be the actual quote, but that's the meme that we made out of it. But the reason why I brought him up is because I was looking at some images of what he did, and holy shit, it's gruesome, dude.
Yeah, making people into lamps and...
But, like, the one image that I saw was, I assume, a woman lying on her back with no head, no arms, her chest split down from where her neck would be down to... What's a pleasant word for taint? Moving on.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We all know what you're talking about.
And her entire torso split in the middle with like organs removed, and you could see like the inside. And that was like.
Really?
Yeah, that was.
Where was this on Google?
YouTube. YouTube somehow allowed this to be shown, but Jesus Christ.
Hey, Logan Paul.
For our faithful listeners at home, who tune in every week. I'm sorry, Ed Gein.
Which I have not been posting every week. So.
Listen, it's only a matter of time. I'm already getting nervous for the thousands that are going to be listening to me in the future.
No.
Talking about taints and bisected penises.
Yeah.
So Ed Gein, just a short list of some of the things he was famous for.
Yeah.
So in no particular order, basically what he did was he had 2 confirmed victims, and that's kind of short, but he's famous for the gruesomeness of his murders.
Yeah.
His victims were 2 women that reminded him of his mother, strangely enough, and he grave robbed the corpses of women that also reminded him of his mother, though I don't know. They must have been fresh corpses, I guess, because...
Or maybe he was just chilling at a funeral and was like, "Oop, shit, I look like mom, I'm a fucking stealer."
And,
because people do that.
Oh, yeah.
People will literally just stay, "Yo, I'm at this funeral." Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, and he's probably famous for inspiring cult movie classics like Leatherface, Buffalo Bill, and Norman Bates. Norman Bates for the mother thing, I guess. But yeah, with some backstory, some of the things that he did when the police raided his home.
Yeah.
So his bedpost, each of the 4 posts on his frame were topped with a skull. He also used human skulls as bowls that he ate out of.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah. I
He
heard
had,
also the lampshade, it was made of skin.
right? That's not the only thing he did with skin. He made a waste basket out of human skin and lined his chairs with human skin.
Same.
Leather, I guess. Maybe it's soft. I don't know. Moisturized.
Ooh.
Yeah. He made a belt out of female nipples.
Same.
Stop saying same. You're making me uncomfortable. Let's see. He made leggings out of leg skin. He made masks out of faces. He made corsets out of torsos. They found an unfinished bodysuit, which I think was that full that I mentioned earlier with the decapitated, no arms,
Lady.
split down
Yeah.
the torso. He had... So he also had various body parts preserved in various containers, like a jar with a heart in it. He had a display case with a face in it. He had a box full of 9 vulvas.
What's a vulva? Did I want to know?
I believe it is part of a vagina.
Oh.
I want to say maybe it's a clit. I don't know. I've never seen a clit in real life. So he was all kinds of fucked up. And the funny thing about him, I shouldn't say, the weird thing about him was that, again, just like that, calling back to that other guy who kept his daughter in his shed, everyone around town thought he was some ineffectual, harmless loser. No one had any respect for him, but no one disliked him. No one made fun of him. He was described as a quiet, kept to himself pushover.
Mm-hmm.
He would willingly ask to do other people's gardening for them. He's weird, but he's a nice guy. Everyone loves him. You go into his house, it's full of body parts.
Yeah. My hero. I'm obviously joking. Whenever I say same, I'm obviously
Oh yeah, of
not.
course.
I'm just saying it for the audience. No, I'm not a serial Shit. I'm found out. Fuck. I gotta go. Podcast over.
I like to know the motivation behind serial killers, but the most I could find for Ed Gein was that he had a weird relationship with his mother. Like his parents fought. I think his father either left or passed, and his mother was overbearing and had a really weird but not super fucked up relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was overbearing and controlling and all those things that could fuck you up a bit, make you antisocial, make you dependent, I guess, in the future, but not serial killery.
Well, again, it's also like, he could have had like a screw loose
Oh,
or
yeah, probably.
something like that. So,
He's just the memest of serial
meme.
killers.
So another one that I personally like. Again, he's very much well known. Ted Bundy.
Oh yeah,
Sexy man.
yeah.
Actually, like
Yeah,
that was like his kind of like his like title was like this like very like suave and like
yeah,
oh shit.
yeah. I imagine it's like Dennis Reynolds, easy to just get people's trust and then, well, in this case, kill them. In
Yeah.
Dennis's case, make a sex tape out of it.
Same. Just kidding.
Well, you're always trying to get Matt and Josh together, and
True.
Matt and
Very
me.
true. Very true.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ted Bundy was a serial killer and rapist. It took place in the 1970s. He raped and he was a necrophiliac.
Ooh.
He killed 36 women across several states. Experts believe 100 or more, never know the exact amount. So they know for sure 36, around 36, but they believe it's probably more. In 1989, January 24th, he was put to death by electric chair outside the prison, and apparently, from memory, I think everyone, like a bunch of people went to go see it and were like cheering what happened that he mostly died.
That sounds like a riot.
Yeah. His wife and daughter stopped visiting him when he was found guilty. During the trial, he was deemed very charming and intelligent, and made him seem like a celebrity. I mean, because what they believed he like did to get the victims, is he would like charm them and be like, hey, I'm sexy.
Right. Yeah.
Come to my house.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
We'll make the bang bang.
Yeah.
Boom boom.
And then he'd kill them.
Yeah.
And then rape them. Well, they're dead.
Is it rape if they're dead? The true questions of life.
It's just like repeating. So he also has a lot of books and movies about him. And then the reasoning that he was like found guilty kind of raised up the red flags to the authorities. They were found bite marks on bodies of 2 Chi Omega murders at FUSU, which is like a university or something.
Chi Omega?
Yeah.
Is that like a university?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't follow. I was like, 2 Chi Omega murders.
Yeah.
Is that like...
Yeah, the girls, I'm guessing the girls were from Chi Omega, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
a stupid name for university.
There were bite marks on the bodies and obviously DNA matched it.
What a weirdo.
Yeah.
That was weird as a game, but still.
Yeah. He was just really sexy and used it to his advantage to kill people.
Why are the sexy people always the crazy ones?
I don't know.
Like I watched a King of the Hill episode the other day, where Luann starts dating this charismatic rich guy voiced by what's his name? He played Batman. He also played Birdman. Michael Keaton.
Oh, yes.
I think. I'm pretty sure he's voiced by Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not a pig farmer. He's like the owner of a conglomerate that sells pigs, like, you know, a corporate pig farmer, I guess.
Yeah.
And over the episode, he charismatically convinces her to come live with him, but then he starts, you know, being a bit weird. Like, he tells her that she is kind of stupid, and he tells her, "You're not stupid, you're ignorant, and that's better." And she doesn't know what ignorant means, so she doesn't try to, fix her ignorance with knowledge. She just tries to say, "I'm a proud ignorant woman, and I'm going to continue to listen to what that man tells me to do." And
mean.
Yeah, and it gets creepy when. So at first, she willingly braids her hair in kind of like the Wendy's girl style.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like pigtails
on each side, yeah. And, you know, at first she's like, oh, but he likes it, so I'm gonna go for it. I think it's cute. And then she moves in with him after Peggy, Luann's aunt, is like, yeah, this guy's weird. He is creepy, and I hate him. Don't date him. He's twice your age. Stop it. And Luann's like, no, I'm gonna go move in with him. And it gets worse.
What show is this?
King of the Hill.
Oh.
And it gets worse when she wakes up one day and in her sleep, her hair was dyed red. And then later on, in the next few days, all of her clothes are thrown out and replaced by the exact same outfit. And then during a Halloween party, it's found she sees him in a back room, and this is the funniest part of the whole episode. It's pretty creepy up until this point, and even, I guess, during this point. He comes out, it's a Halloween party, he's dressed like a pig, right? And she notices, oh shit, I'm dressed and look right now just like the girl in that image. And he's like, ah yes, she was the spokesperson, or the mascot, I guess, the icon, whatever, of this pig company that my grandfather made. You know, my mother was never really there for me. My father didn't care. But this girl, this icon, she was always there for me, always on my wall. I could always look to her for when I needed help. And now you are just like her. And you notice she also has the red pigtails and the same outfit. And he says, Luann, make me the happiest man alive. He pulls out a ring case and he opens it up for an engagement ring, and she goes, oh my God, is that an engagement ring? And he's like, yes, don't ruin this. I want this moment to be perfect. And he gets down on one knee and he says, Luann, will you marry this man over here? And out of the shadows comes another dude dressed up like the other guy in the image. So in the image that he showed her is the spokesperson, some guy in a yodeling outfit, and a pig, just a normal pig. And he says, yes, it can be just like I always wanted. It could be just like in the image. Mommy, you, Daddy, him, and me, the baby, the pig. And he gets on all fours, he starts making oink noises and shit. And I just lost it. I thought it was the funniest episode I've ever seen in a while.
What the fuck?
It was weird. And then it gets creepy. He chases her through a pork processing plant, and then, you know, he dies. Traditional horror movie shit. He falls yeah.
In the grinder or something.
Sure, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Ted Bundy with like his handsome necrophilia reminded me of that, where it's like, oh, the handsome charismatic type has the really weird sexual deviancies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like him. He's cool.
Yeah, I imagine. I guess his motive would have been sexual then, I guess, but
And he had a wife and kid.
really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I said his wife and daughter stopped visiting him when he was found guilty.
Jesus. He had a wife and kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as horrible as that is, the bright side is that the fact that they didn't know about it means they never hurt them.
Mm-hmm. And another point was he killed young women across several states.
Is that no states? So this is America. Who's that serial killer? The boyfriend and girlfriend duo, the Canadian ones. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, but I don't remember their name.
Neither do I. And I remember they were both fucked, but the girl was even more fucked. And during the trial...
Yeah, she blamed it all on him,
mm-hmm.
but it was pretty much all her idea.
Yeah.
And then they found out that it was all her idea, and then...
You see the interviews, she's manipulative as fuck, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, going right into the crying, the victim role, but, like, totally in power the entire time.
He forced me to do it, all typical, oh my god, it was... it wasn't nothing to do with me, I just was there.
That's horrifying. Like, even more horrifying than, like, Ed Gein or John Wayne Gacy.
Didn't they, like, record, like, she wouldn't, like... Or I could be thinking of something, like, completely different. But I think didn't like the guy would rape the girls, and then she would record it and like tell him to do other stuff to them to the point where they killed them or something.
Yeah, like I think he was just a rapist and she made him a murderer.
Yeah, and then helped.
That's even more terrifying than like the traditional just crazy serial killers. The ones that, not the ones that are innocuous, the ones that are charismatic, the ones that you want to like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like her and
like
Ted
American
Bundy.
Psycho.
American Psycho. Oh yeah, I've never seen that movie, but I know
really
exactly
good.
what you're talking about.
It's very. I'm guessing. I don't know if it's a real fact, but I'm guessing they might have gotten some inspiration from Ted Bundy because he's very attractive. He's very smart and very like kind of charismatic. He's kind of a dick at some points, but obviously he's a serial killer.
Yeah, yeah. You know my
he loves like pop music too. For some reason.
What, like Katy Perry?
No, like this was like I don't remember what year it was. Do I even have it in my notes anywhere? I don't think so. But it was he liked like 80s bands or something. Something like that. I could be totally incorrect. But yeah.
Oh, I'm imagining that. I just had like a brief image of him like dancing to like a 80s funk tune and then like killing somebody.
Pretty much. It's not really a spoiling point, but I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a really famous movie. Like it's not like, oh my god, spoiler alert. He has a guy over, and
Is that the scene with Jared Leto?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's seen.
Yeah.
Is it Leto, Leto?
I think it's Leto. I don't know, whatever. I don't care. But yeah, he has the guy over, or Jared Leto over, and then he has like plastic wrap on everything, and he's playing music. He's like, "Yo, this is my favorite song." Blah blah blah. Has a fucking raincoat thing on.
Yeah, poncho.
And a poncho, and then he takes out an axe and goes.
I don't know the context of that scene, but I have seen that scene. I feel like it's hard not to have seen that scene.
Yeah, they're
it's
just
so
having
iconic.
like a casual conversation, and all of a sudden.
I really want to see the context of that because all I know is that he's like, "Hey, Bob." Yeah. Thwack.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. He's just like, "Yo, let's come over for a drink or whatever." See, I think he hates him or something.
Yeah.
And like he comes over, he's like, "Yo, let's talk and here have a alcoholic beverage and listen to music and don't mind the fact that my house looks like a crime scene that's about waiting to happen."
I kind of like that because they kind of use psychopath in that context correctly. Like it kind of irks me when people just say psychopath to mean anyone who's crazy, or when they use sociopath to mean anyone who's lacking emotion.
Yeah.
And there's a distinction where a psychopath is the charismatic, glib, and superficial, charming one, and sociopaths are the ones that kind of don't work well. Like both psychopaths and sociopaths, I believe, have the same dysfunction where they don't have empathy, where they can't have empathy, whereas psychopaths use that as a tool to manipulate people and get advantage.
They know that it's a thing that's happening to them.
Right.
And then they use it, like you said, they use it to their advantage and use their charisma or intelligence to their advantage.
The funny thing about psychopaths is their reasoning is that I know I am better. So they're narcissists. I know that I'm better than you, and I know that I'm better than. Or I know I deserve to take advantage of you, and I deserve to take advantage of you because I'm better than you, and I'm smarter than you, and you're stupid, and I know that I'm smarter than you, and you're stupid because you allow me to take advantage of you. So it's kind of like a cyclical, self-predicated argument, when in reality it's just them being narcissistic.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because you can kind of really understand from. I mean, okay, you kind of at first can't because you're thinking, how could someone be so full of themselves to take advantage of them, someone like that? But there are times when you actually encounter it. Like, for example, in high school, during a psych course, we did a unit on Charles Manson. And after learning about all this shit, we were shown interview clips of him. And I remember seeing him and thinking, holy shit, This dude is charismatic as fuck. If I met him in the real world and did not know about everything that he's done, I would 100% join his cult. This guy has me.
And that's
hook, line,
and that's
sinker.
how he started his cult, was being so nice and charismatic and having a different view on life and stuff like that.
And he's so eloquent and smart, and even when he's sitting there with a fucking swastika between his eyebrows, you're still sitting there thinking, damn, I could have a conversation with this guy.
Yeah.
And you don't want to.
Yeah.
But it's that allure of his charm, and it's crazy.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with like charisma or whatever, but there's a meme that I absolutely love, because during one of his interviews, he just like gets up and starts dancing.
Yeah. So every time we touch, I get this
and then
feeling.
there's also another where like it's like DDR.
Yeah.
And it shows like he's dancing. That it's like the DDR arrows going like sliding down the screen. It's so good. I'm like, oh.
I love it. His interviews are so cool. Didn't he like die earlier this year or last year?
Yeah, he died of old age, I think.
What a shame.
Or like cancer or something.
Yeah. But like...
Oh! Okay, this is a really interesting fact. Okay, so I think she was 20 years old, but there's a woman, like when he was in prison, when he's like, I don't know how old he was when he died, but like he was like 70? Around there, he was old. And there was a 20-ish year old girl that wanted to marry him while he's in prison, knowing that he kind of manipulated people into killing.
Oh yeah, that's a huge thing. Like crazy, desperate chicks who like the allure of a powerful dude, especially Charles Manson. Like,
I think they were
handsome.
like engaged.
Yeah. While
he was in prison.
I remember seeing during one of his trials, and this was old. Like you could tell from the footage that it was old. But there were 3 women who shaved their heads completely bald and dressed in matching but different colored dresses. Who sang his music around the courts, arm in arm, skipping, saying we want him to be free and shit like that. And it was the creepiest Children of the Corn cult shit I've ever seen. But I'm not surprised. Like Charles Manson is easily my favorite serial killer.
Mm-hmm. Even though he didn't really do anything.
He's not even a serial killer. He's just a Charles Manson, and Charles Manson is the best Charles Manson you can think of.
Another cool thing that, like, from like pop culture standpoint, I think it's Annabelle. In that movie, they use like the whole like one of the backstories of Annabelle is based off of the Charles Manson's killings, which is really interesting. Have you seen that movie?
No.
No. Okay. So in the like the beginning of the movie, like a bunch of like I think they're like adults or teenagers that are part of his cult go and kill an old couple, and next door there's a couple who are about to give birth to a baby, and they have the Annabelle doll. So and there's like a whole other like reason, also another reason why they choose these people's houses and stuff like that. There's a whole other reason, but I don't want to spoil that for you.
Yeah.
If you ever do want to watch the Annabelle series, which is really good, I really recommend it.
I'll put it on my list.
Yeah, it's really good. But so yeah, they kill the elderly couple, and they go and find the Annabelle doll in the couple's house, and the girl kills herself, and then she possesses the doll.
So like female Chucky?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that was inspired by Charles Manson?
I'm pretty sure, like, they, like, in the movie, they're like, and then it, like, cuts to, like, a news clip, they're like, oh, Charles Manson's cult.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Thing,
I got you.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
On the news kind of thing, so. I think, because I remember, like, because whenever I think of Annabelle, I always think of Charles Manson for some odd reason.
I gotta watch the movie. Maybe I have to see it in order to make that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in the first one or the second one, but I'm pretty sure they have a connection.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't like put two and two together if I didn't think so. So I might have to like look into that more, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, he's my favorite. Like, I actually got some quotes from him, actually.
Go ahead.
So, the interviewer, talking about his book, he didn't write it. It was a biography of him by someone that he spent a lot of time in prison with. So she says, from your words, it's clear that you're guilty of murder, and yet he, the biographer, in all his conversations with you, says he's never once heard you express remorse. Have you ever felt it? Remorse for what? You people have done everything in the world to me. Doesn't that give me equal right? I can do anything I want to you people at any time I want to because that's what you've done to me. If you spit in my face and smack me in the mouth and throw me in solitary confinement for nothing, what do you think's going to happen when I get out of here? And then it skips ahead in the interview a bit, and then he replies to a different question. Guilty. Well, I wouldn't do anything. She asked him, have you ever felt guilty? He said, guilty. I wouldn't do anything I felt guilty about. And she said, you don't feel guilty at all? He's like, there's no need to feel guilty. I haven't done anything I'm ashamed of. Maybe I haven't done enough. I might be ashamed of that, for not doing enough. So,
That's so cool.
He's the textbook psychopath, complete, devoid of empathy, and
thinks that he has a kind of like a duty
Yeah.
to society that he was like the chosen one or something. Like he's the shit. And
delusions
he
of grandeur.
Yeah.
A heightened sense of self. He is just. I love him as an archetype, as a character. He's so cool. It reminds me of a Simpsons joke I actually saw once where Burns goes to prison, but he doesn't go to rich guy prison. He goes to normal prison, and his cellmate is this huge black guy, but he's not. At first, Burns is threatened, but the guy's like, "No, I'm not gonna hurt you. I used to be a criminal until I turned to Jesus. I can't read, but when I saw this Bible, it turned my life around." He gives him a book, and it's the back, and shows a picture of what looks like Jesus, and he turns it around. It says "Helter Skelter."
It's amazing.
I mean, it's interesting what you said about how they feel like they have a duty to society in order to kind of right it in injustices that they see.
Well, because it kind of like I kind of got that thought from when he said like I haven't done enough.
Right.
Like I'm guilty of not doing enough, possibly. Which again kind of sounds like he's like, oh yeah, I have a duty to do this, and like I wasn't able to fulfill it to the necessary means that I needed to.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That's what I personally hear when I hear that quote, which is really interesting. He thinks that he's so high above everyone else that he's like, okay, well, I have to do this.
He's the supreme educator of society.
Yeah.
I just want to seem smart. I want to use a big word. It's really interesting how a lot of serial killers, even the ones who don't have some kind of mental abnormality, like they aren't psychopaths, they don't have whatever the fuck Ed Gein had, the ones that are just disenfranchised individuals, that's what often drives them. You know, like school shooters and shit like that, they are isolated and they realize that life is pain. Existence is pain. And if life is pain, well, there are only, and loads of philosophers have dealt with this, saying that like there are a finite amount of ways to deal with the notion that life is pain. You can retreat into childlike ignorance. You can numb yourself with drugs and alcohol, with momentary pleasures. You can stare into the void. I think that was Nietzsche's solution. You can kill yourself if you're Tolstoy and you want to say that's what you should do, kill yourself. And I was actually watching a lecture earlier today about how there is another option in the mind of a serial killer, that if life is pain and you want to destroy life as a necessary consequence of it, that doesn't necessarily mean suicide. It doesn't necessarily mean killing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Another logical reason, if life is pain and existence is futile, and humans are evil by their very nature, then it's necessary for you to purge the world and to cleanse it of the filth that is human before you take yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really fucked, because that's not those people don't have less intelligence, they don't have less morality. If anything, they kind of have more, but to the even worse opposite extreme. Like their heightened morality is such that all humanity is evil, and it's the necessary consequence of that it must be purged.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones to do it, because no one else will.
Mm-hmm.
And
that they're the, like you said, like the chosen one kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's their life goal or something along those lines. That it's they, like you said, like they are the only ones that can do it or are going to do it, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. You can either be your own agent, or you can willfully. I don't know. I'm trying to sound smart. Basically, the other things that people smarter than me have said before: you can either ignore the problem, you can face the problem, you can numb yourself, you can kill yourself, you can kill other people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're disenfranchised and everyone hates you and you're going to kill yourself anyway, and you have a lot of resentment towards existence itself, you're probably going to try to kill a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard of the guy that went into the McDonald's and shot a bunch of people?
No, what happened?
There was, I don't remember his name, but there was a guy that just went into a McDonald's. I think he had a mental illness and had a lot of anger issues. So he told his wife, and his wife tried to stop him. I don't think he killed her. I think he just knocked her out or something. And so when she came, when he knocked her out or something, and then went to go shoot, when she came to, she called the police. And he went to the McDonald's near his house and just started shooting up the place.
You said you had a mental illness. Was it determined what that was?
I think it was like schizophrenia or something on those lines, or like bipolar disorder or something.
When was this and where?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago when I read this. But it was recent. It wasn't like...
Shit.
It was maybe like a couple of years ago. Oh, here's another really interesting one. That literally happened like a couple months ago. Remember did you hear about the guy that ate the girl?
Ate the girl?
Yeah!
What?
In Oshawa!
In Oshawa?
Yeah!
Oh, no, wait, we were talking about this.
Yeah.
But like, ate the girl, I thought that was just like, people were turning up dead here. Wait, what?
Yeah, okay. So, there's a house in downtown Oshawa. You know where downtown, where there's like the Scotia Bank, there's like that hair school. It's literally like right in between there. It's, okay, you know where Roller Gardens is?
I do not know Oshawa very well.
Oh shit, okay. So anyways, it's right downtown Oshawa, and he lived in the basement apartment. And I don't know how, I think she was like 16 or 17.
Oh shit.
She went missing. I think they found like a body part like in the lake or something.
I remember talking about that with you. Yeah.
And so what happened was, so he lived in the basement apartment of this house, and and people were living upstairs. So, and I actually know I probably shouldn't specify who it is, but I worked with someone who knew the people that lived in that, like, the upstairs house, and that been over to this place and stuff like this, right? And so what happened was, so the people upstairs, their sink was getting clogged.
Oh shit.
And they were like, what's going on? So they called the plumber.
Yeah.
and the plumber was pulling, emptying out the pipes.
Oh no.
Found, flesh, hair, blood, obviously, and everything in the pipes.
What the fuck was this guy doing?
Turns out he was eating her body parts, and whatever he couldn't eat or whatever, he would dispose it in the sink.
That's a terrible place to dispose it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna eating her, and this was in Oshawa
Mm-hmm.
months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Okay, that's not. I
Yeah,
don't think that's it.
I need to show you. I'll show the people on when I'm editing pictures and stuff like that of the house. But I will show you right now.
Fuck, dude, are you serious?
Yeah. Okay.
How did I not hear this?
I posted it on Discord.
I don't see everything that's on Discord
true.
sometimes.
Okay.
I'll
Oshawa
disappear for weeks or not weeks, days sometimes.
Girl dead.
Can't believe that. So was that true? I heard a rumor that there was a torso in the lake.
Yeah, that's
that was
true.
true?
Yeah.
That was true. Holy shit.
There was a torso, which I think was this girl. Her name was Rory. And then there was another dead body or something of a guy that went missing. Okay, remember that one time when we were coming back from Brew Wizards? It was Matt, you and I standing at the bus stop, and there was a missing.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
He's the dead body that showed up in the lake.
We called it.
Yeah.
Matt was like, he's dead. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you don't know that. Oh shit! Wait. Oh yeah.
Her.
Wait, that's the girl we saw on the missing poster.
Yeah, she was also missing, and this is the guy that killed her.
Ain't this a fun place to live?
And then here, let me see if I can find the exact house. Marie.
Excuse me. Giving a little
house.
ASMR for our listeners.
Okay, so here's the house right here.
Huh.
Here's another shot of it. So right here
Yeah.
is a rolling rink.
A rolling rink.
Yeah, skating.
Oh,
rollerblading.
shit, yeah.
Rollerblading. There's the house. Right there.
Huh.
And then I think this is where they found the body, the torso.
She's cute too.
She was pregnant as well, I think.
Okay.
They think
That's worse.
they're speculate think here. Okay, so this is the house over here. Yeah, pregnant.
Holy
She was
shit.
She was 18. They think he was the father. They're not exactly sure though.
And he ate her.
Yeah.
Is there pictures of this guy?
Yeah.
Ate her. Jesus Christ.
Here it is. This is him.
What?
This is the killer.
That could have been the father? That guy looks like her grandfather.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's the guy that killed and ate her.
Okay, maybe not grandfather, maybe father, but still. That fat fuck don't look like he can get her. She's cute. Or was. Is it disrespectful for me to say a girl who was killed and eaten is cute?
I don't know. She went missing went missing in August, and then they found where's her torso? By late December, Durham Regional Police found more of Hodges' remain in basement apartment of downtown home.
Adam Strong. That's a nice name. I like that.
He's the killer.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's a bad
few
name. I don't
weeks
like it.
later in September, her torso was found by a fisherman in Oshawa Harbor.
Jesus.
Yep,
What a catch.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's not. I don't think that is a product of too much morality. I think that's just being fucking nuts.
Yeah. I can't, like, I drove by that house every single day to get to my job.
Jesus.
Single day.
I could not imagine what that's like.
Yeah. I'm not like, oh, poor me.
Well, yeah, no, I know, but just
Yeah.
the fact that you didn't even realize.
Yeah.
You could have been driving past. You could have been within like 50 feet
Yeah.
of it occurring at any given time.
Mm-hmm. And not even knowing.
Jesus.
And the interesting thing, like, I don't know if his Facebook is still up, but I've searched his Facebook. I don't know. They might have taken it down because he is in jail and stuff right now. But let's see. I'm sorry, my computer's extremely slow. It looks like they took it down. There's a shirtless guy with his legs open. His legs open.
The blue thong, though.
Oh shit, there's the butt.
Ooh, that ain't no male butt. Oh wait, it might have been a male butt. It looked like a female butt.
It was a male butt, I think.
Well, let's pretend it was a female butt.
Okay, and there's abs. Yeah, I think they might have deleted it. But there
Wait,
was a lot.
go back to the butt.
Why the butt?
I must determine if it is
I
male
don't
or
even
female.
know if it's. Oh, there it is. It's a male.
No.
That's a male.
Yeah, you're
butt.
right. Wait, but like it looks kind of like a thong. It
That's
doesn't, or not a thong.
It's
You know what I
probably
mean?
tidy whities.
No, but no guy would ever wear that. I mean, maybe they would. but
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do.
That's just crazy, dude. Why
Well,
would you?
I work at like an underwear store, and we had men's section. We had like tidy whities, and men would come in and buy them. Yeah, I think they might have taken it down.
That's weird.
But he was posting like really creepy, like when you put two and two together and like read his posts, it's just like holy shit. Like he posted this while he has her fucking remains in his house. Like he has pictures like a couple weeks or months after he kills her. Like there's like pictures of him like eating, like he has like very close up pictures of like food.
And that was.
And it's all blurry and stuff like that, so you can't tell what it is. Kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they must have deleted it, probably.
Like a Hannibal Lecter thing.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
That's another movie, by the way, that I saw
Oh.
to like adjust myself to horror movies. Silence of the Lambs. It's so good, dude. So
I
good.
love it. Yeah, it's not coming up. They probably deleted it, which I don't blame them. But, yeah,
Mm.
it's crazy. In Oshawa.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another, there's not in Oshawa, in Toronto. An older man killed like a bunch of people and then buried them under, because he was a landscaper, and he buried all his dead bodies in under while he was doing landscaping.
Well, I mean, that's just sensible hiding the evidence.
I think. Oh, I sent it to Matt. Oh, my phone's not working right now. Okay. Killer. Bruce. Oh, what was?
That's the entire story?
Yeah.
It's like a paragraph. The title is larger than the story.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find something better. Accused of killing 8 men in Toronto. Serial killer Bruce MacArthur with an 8th count of first-degree murder after identifying another set of remains. The new charge was homicide. The person was killed between September 3rd and December 14th, 2015, and was 37 years old at the time. He had been living in Scarborough and had distant relatives in Toronto area. That's not the guy. I think that's the guy that I think. Yeah, this is like the sketch of the guy that killed. That's Bruce, and I think this is the victim.
Almost like Indian Kanye.
Oh my god. Yeah, MacArthur, a landscaper, stored equipment. Previously charged in murders of all like Indian people.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. Why?
I don't know.
Was he
Police
just
say
like
they have
an extreme
identified.
racist or something?
Maybe. I don't know. Police say they have identified the remains of those men in planters. Police have not released the cause of death for any of the men. Connection between Toronto's gay village. Not found a connection between. I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name.
Kenagaratnam.
Yeah.
I'm probably butchering that. But well, why is it, if there's no connection, why is it mentioning gay dating apps?
I don't know. He doesn't quite fit the profile that we've seen before. Okay. Why bring sexuality into this? Were they
I feel like
Was he a homophobe? Was Bruce a homophobe? Like that makes no sense.
I feel like a better journalist must have done more research into it and found some connection, and these guys were like,
oh
yeah.
shit, this is a point. I'm gonna add it to my thing.
What?
Like the fact that he's like gay or something, or someone's gay. Or
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, let's probably end on that note because it's like almost 10 o'clock at night.
I was like, I had another one to talk about, but I didn't because I was like, how long has this been? Like 2 hours at this point?
Almost like my watch freaked up because I accidentally clicked on something. Okay, it's been almost 2 hours. It's an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Like I had, when I bring up the morality thing, I was gonna add a thought just then to relate it to the Las Vegas shooter. You remember that a while ago? Because that guy had no mental deficiencies whatsoever.
Yeah, and they said a lot of people say that like it wasn't just him.
No?
It was like multiple people because in the videos you can see someone shooting up and then you can see someone shooting on the ground.
Really?
To the crowd.
I didn't know about that. I thought he was a lone agent, lone killer.
Yeah, because people were releasing videos of it and stuff like that, and like people that were like being interviewed were saying that they heard gunshots before he started shooting.
Mm-hmm. Shit.
But they were like in all the news outlets. Again, I hear this from like conspiracies and stuff like that.
Right.
It's from conspiracy videos. But like apparently people were saying that they heard guns going off on the ground level, and apparently the news was trying to cover it up and like would like show footage but would cut it or start blurring it.
Shit.
Blurring videos. And then people will start like posting it to the internet, and then people would like compare the news and then like the actual video, and they would like it would be quality would be shit. They would clip it. I
gotta like look that up.
Yeah.
I heard a kind of sad but sweet story of a boy who was shot because it was like a film festival no, it wasn't. It was a concert, right?
Yeah, I think it was a concert game or football
something
or
like
something. Yeah.
It was definitely because I remember seeing videos, and a boy was shot, and a guy, I think it was like a fireman or something, he picked him up, carried him outside the gates, dropped him to safety. He said, okay, I'm going to have to go, because he's just running back and forth carrying people to safety. This boy who was shot,
he's just sitting there, and this woman who was passing by noticed him and stopped by with him, and calling the police for help is doing nothing at this point. Everybody's calling the police for help.
Yeah.
Everyone's calling out ambulances, and she sat with him for like 3 hours or something like that. I don't know. She sat with him for a long ass time until he passed. And I think it's sad, but it's also really sweet that he didn't die alone. That
Yeah.
someone had the kindness in their heart to sit with a complete stranger and comfort them for an admittedly long ass amount of time.
Mm-hmm. That's sad though.
Yeah.
That he didn't make it.
A lot of people didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It really sucks.
Same with kind of same situation with the Pulse
The Pulse.
Club. The club in, I don't remember where it was. I think it was in Vegas or something.
Mm.
It was a gay club, and a guy came in and started shooting a bunch of people, and a lot of people died. Yeah.
Why?
Because
I mean,
he
it's
was
self-evident,
homophobic.
but
Yeah, homophobic.
that's like I know homophobic people, and they would just maybe it's different. I mean, the people that I know would just be like, oh, it's wrong as an act, but then how does that justify murder in anyone's sensibilities?
Yeah.
It's so insane.
And the crazy thing is, because I watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and one of the girls that was on it said that she was supposed to perform that night, but got sick or something on those lines, and canceled, and had a friend go to the club.
In her place?
No, and asked like, "Hey, where are you? I'm here." And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not feeling well," or whatever reason. And he's like, "Well, okay, well, I'm just probably gonna stay a little bit," and then he died because
Damn,
he was shot or something.
that really sucks.
Yeah. Like, how crazy is that to think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go perform this tonight. Oh, I'm gonna actually no, I'm gonna cancel. I think, and then that night you're supposed to perform, everyone like gets shot up.
I mean, that's lucky, but also it's kind of psychologically traumatizing.
Yeah. To know that you could have been a person in that list of dead people.
Yeah, survivor's remorse.
Mhm. That's crazy. Anyways, we're going on.
I know. When I said I wanted to bring that up, I didn't mean to go into another tangent.
Yeah.
I'm just adding more shit for you to edit.
It's fine.
We should record an outro.
Okay.
All right.
Anyways.
So we gotta have like a theme song for the Black Dahlia.
Oh shit.
Let's go. Yeah, improv on the spot.
Oh fuck no.
Yeah, and come on, let's do it. Dum-dum-dum. It's the Black Dahlia.
What?
Say, I don't know, add to it. Sing things.
I don't fucking know. What the fuck is this?
I think my outro really embodied the spirit of the creepiness that is this podcast.
Yeah. All right. Anyways,
Yeah.
we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening.